Jai Hind children. We will start today the literature chapter of July month. Earlier we had completed the poem. The poem was of Sarojini Naidu and the prose also after 20 years. The chapters which were there in your April May were completed. Now there is a poem Invictus that we will be going through. But before going through the poem, first we will come to know, let's know the appreciation, the central idea of the poem. Invictus is a motivational poem. We will come to know. First, let's start our class. This is your literature book. This is the prescribed literature book. And I know that most of the students have arranged it already, but still, if there are some who could not arrange it, please, you have to arrange this. Let's start the chapter Invictus. Invictus is the name of the chapter. The name of poet is William Ernest Henley. As I had told you in the beginning, that it is a motivational poem. It is a high inspirational poem. The reason behind the poem, what is the reason behind it, means what is the reason that it is an inspirational or high motivational poem, everything we will be just discussing. But first of all, we should know what is the meaning of this title, Invictus. Invictus, it is a Latin word. The meaning of Invictus is unconquered. Unconquered means undefeated. The person who is not defeated, never defeated. Whatever the circumstances, whatever the situation, the adversities, the challenges, whatever comes in life, the person is invictus. He just accept or take all the challenges and win over those. So here, invictus means undefeated. And this poem is an inspiration. It is the motivational poem, as in this poem, the poet is telling about, he is just sharing about his personal struggle. William Ernest Henley, the poet, he was suffering from a disease. The disease was that was tuberculosis of bone. And when he was 16 years or 12 years old, means right from the childhood, he was suffering from this disease. Now, the doctors, according to the doctors, they have just suggested that one left leg just below the knee, one of the legs of the poet should be amputated. Amputated means cut off just below the knee. Why? Because of the disease. Otherwise, he would not live. He might die. That was necessary, that was compulsory because of the complications of the disease. And right now this child means as a child he was suffering from this disease, and right now the poet is on the hospital bed, and there, when everywhere everything just seems to him gloom. He is very much sad. At this moment, he has written this poem, Invictus. And that's why the poem is an inspiration, is a motivation for all. Because the poet has described that how he is facing the challenges of his life, right from his childhood till this stage when he is on the hospital bed. Still he is facing the same problem, the same trouble, but then also he will not accept the defeat because his willpower is strong. Children, right now we can take the example. Right now, what problem we are facing? We all know the whole world is facing the pandemic. But have we accepted that we cannot do anything? Have you stopped learning? Or have your teachers stopped teaching you? No. We all are facing the problem, but we have taken out the solutions. So the same thing, the same message the poet is giving in the poem Invictus, that whenever we have some problem, so what should we do? We should keep our willpower strong and try to take out the solutions. We have taken out the solution. The students or the children, those who are at their home, they can learn, they can just go through the chapters. And your teachers, of course, just like me, I was not knowing ABC of this laptop or these all advanced technologies, but we accepted the challenge and overnight we learned how to use, and right now you can see the result is in front of you. Your teachers are making PPT for you children, and my children, they are working hard as they are gaining the knowledge right from their home, and they are asking, they are just querying. It shows that how much they are eager to learn. So children, this was just an example to tell you what is the theme of this poem Invictus. This is the central idea of the poem, that whenever we face the problem, what we should do, we should keep our willpower strong, and without getting afraid, we should try to take out the solutions. We should think, we should work, we should just go for solutions in place of sitting at a place and crying over the problem. Life is long. You can ask your elders, your parents, is the life smooth? No, the answer will be no. The life seems to us very easy, no, smooth in our childhood. But when we go out for the work, we have to face different types of challenges. So those challenges we should face rather than getting afraid and sitting quietly at our home. So the chapter gives you this moral. This is the message also. We will know more about the chapter. I will be giving you the stanzas also. But as I told you, first, what is the central idea? What is the tone? What is the rhyme scheme? What are the figures of speech in your poem? We will be discussing over these all things first. Let's start. Okay. Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Central idea of the poem. The central idea of the poem is bravery. The poem is about courage in the face of death. Holding on to one's own dignity despite the indignities. Indignities, whenever we just face, suppose we are at our workplace, okay, and we are all new, we don't know anything, and we just commit the mistake. So what we have to face? We have to face the humiliation. No. So here indignities means humiliation. So despite the humiliation, despite the indignities, what we have to do? We have to maintain our dignity, because life places different types of indignities in front of us. So the central idea of the poem is the resilience of the human spirit in the face of extreme personal suffering. What do you understand by this word, resilience? It means our mental ability to control over illness, or our mental ability to quickly control, no, or to recover quickly from any of the depression. It can be depression also, it can be any illness also, it can be misfortunes also. So here your word resilience means whenever we are capable, we are strong, mentally strong. I am not talking about the physical caliber or our physical strength. What I am talking about our mental ability, means our inner, our willpower. The strength should be there. So this is the central idea, that the resilience of human spirit in the face of extreme personal suffering, means how the poet has just recovered quickly. How he recovered quickly means although he was in the hospital, but he did not recover physically, but he was recovered mentally, because his willpower was strong. Extreme personal suffering. The poet was in extreme pain. That was his personal suffering, because the disease which he was passing, which he was suffering, that he was in extreme pain, because it was right from his childhood. So Invictus is a poem which focuses on human spirits and its ability to overcome adversity. Adversity means whenever the conditions are not favorable to us, unfavorable. And if something is unfavorable means not in our favor. This adversity means unfavorable. So something which is not in our favor, then also we should have the ability to overcome the unfavorable conditions, the unfavorable situation. So Invictus focuses on human spirits, on our ability, how we can overcome the adversity. Adversity you have understood, the unfavorable. Okay. Whenever the state of misfortune is there. It is a rallying cry. Rallying cry. Rallying cry means whenever right now again I will be giving you the example of rallying cry. Here, rallying cry means a form of war cry that encourages people to unite in a common cause. So, right now, we all are passing, we all are suffering from the same challenge. So, the people, we all are united for the common cause. No, it is a form of war cry. What is a form of war cry? That we all want to get rid of this disease. So, it is a rallying cry for those who find themselves in the dark and trying situations. So, this poem just tells us about that rallying cry means for those persons who are in the dark. Dark means here, dark is the symbol of pessimism. No, whenever we do not have any hope and trying situations, the situations which are unfavorable, who have to dig deep and fight for their lives. The person who are digging deep means those who are just trying hard and those who are fighting for their lives, as the poet was fighting for his life. No? So, Invictus is a poem which just tells us how we can overcome the problem. The poet certainly knew hard times and needed all his strength to battle against disease. How he certainly knew hard times? Because he was suffering from the disease right from his childhood. So he certainly knew whatever the hard times, whatever the tough times he had gone through. And that's why he needed all his strength to battle against the disease. The poet states immense strength of human spirit in the depth of adversity. In the darkest time, and even the own fate is against you. The human spirit is strong enough to face all the pain and struggle and push through. So, our human spirit, our soul, our just inner strength, no, that is very much strong. We all can face all the pain and the struggle and push through whatever problem comes in front of our way. But for that, we should know, we should be aware, and we have to make our willpower strong. So this is the central idea. The poem is different because intense emotions with strong words have been used several times. It is an extremely hopeful poem. Although the poet was suffering from the disease, but he has not lost his hope. That's why after going through the poem, after going through the stanzas, you will get that yes, it is an extremely hopeful poem. Let's proceed. Tone of the poem. Whenever we are just reading the literature and especially the poetry, so in the poetry there are different tones. It means that the poet, in whatever mood he is, he just starts writing the poem. Okay. So if the poet is in happy mood, so he will be writing the poem in what way? Means he will be just writing all those words which we use in our happy mood. But here the tone of the poem, because the poet is of course sad. But what is there? He is optimistic also. So the tone of the poem Invictus is gloomy and dark, although the poet William Ernest Henley remains optimistic. Optimistic, Ashavadi. He is optimistic. The poet remains optimistic. He does not accept his that I will be just not be able to win over my disease. So, of course, the tone is gloomy. He is just talking about his sufferings. He is just talking about his death. No, dark means here, dark means pessimistic, nirashavadi. No, so the tone is gloomy and dark. But what about the poet? The poet is optimistic. He will be telling till the last stanza that I am not afraid. I am still the captain of my soul. I am still means he will be just telling that how much willpower I have. So you can write in this way if the question asked what is the tone of the poem, you can write that the tone is gloomy and dark, although the poet remains optimistic. This is the perfect answer for this poem Invictus. Moral of the poem. By the time when I have given you, right from the starting, I hope you all have got what is the moral of this poem. Then also it is an important question and we should know the poem teaches us that regardless of what happens in our lives, we are the masters of our soul. Regardless what happens, means whatever happens, we should don't care what is going in our lives. We should not sit after being depressed. We are the masters of our soul. Means our life will proceed according to us because we are the master of our soul. So if we accept this defeat, so we will be depressed, no, and our life will be very sad. But if we are not thinking what is going on in our lives and we are always confident, so the poet is just telling the same thing that we are the masters of our soul. The poet wants to give a universal message through the poem that no matter what life throws at you, no matter how bad it is, never ever let it crumble you and get you down. Crumble, you all know crumble? In pieces, in small pieces. So don't give the permission to your life to let you crumble, to just break you in pieces and get you down. Get you down, not as you get down, as if someone is getting you down by bringing more marks, or if someone is fighting you and getting you down. In the same way, we should not allow our life to crumble us and get us down. Means we should not accept the defeat. What we should do? One should not give up and one must keep one's willpower strong and unconquered by anyone, whosoever it is. What we should do? We should keep our willpower strong and unconquered. Unconquered means we should not accept the defeat. We should remain undefeated. We should never give up. And this is the moral of the poem. One must look for the solutions for overcoming the troubles of the life. as I have told you in the beginning, that we should look for the solutions. We should not sit quietly. No, continuously if we try, definitely we can take out the solutions. I had given you the example also of your classes. So right now we have the solutions. So in the same way, whatever problem we face, what we must do, look for the solutions for overcoming the troubles of the life. The important thing is to keep the head high and fight with such troubles. We should not bow down our head. Our head should be held high, means full of pride. And we should fight also with such troubles which our life is just giving us. The fate and destiny will try to scare, but it is important to stay unafraid. Your fate, your luck, your destiny, bhagya. It means in the Hindi, bhagya. So the fate and destiny will try to scare, will try to make you afraid. But what should you do? What is the most important thing? The most important thing is to stay unafraid. We should not be afraid to win over anything and everything in life. And if we are unafraid, of course, we will be a winner. Not only over anything, but everything, everything in the life, we will be just a winner. So this is the moral of the poem. Let's see what's next. Rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme. I hope you all know what is rhyme scheme. No? Then also, I'm just giving you the rhyme scheme if you have any kind of doubt. In your unseen passage also, this question comes. Sometimes you get the poems in your unseen passage and the questions are there related to the rhyme scheme. What is the rhyme scheme of the above line? So, I am telling you, whenever you read the poem, the last word of the poem, you just note down. Okay, only the last word. Suppose there are 4 lines. So, in those 4 lines, the last word only you write down and after that you give the number. For example, I am reading the poem, the first 4 lines of the chapter Invictus. Out of the night that covers me. Write down the last word, me. Black as the pit from pole to pole. Second line, last word is pole. Now you write down P-O-L-E, pole. Third line, I thank whatever gods may be. So the last word is B-E-B. Write down. For my unconquerable soul. What is the last word here? Soul. Have you written all the 4 words? Your words, if you have written correctly, should be in this way. Me, pole, be, soul. Now you have to take out the rhyme scheme. So you will just see that the word me is rhyming with which word? Be. Me is rhyming with be. Here you are giving the number, the words which are rhyming, which are sounding, no, the same. So we give the same number. But as you are giving the number in the English literature, be sure you will not be giving the numbers in the numerics. How will you give the number? Alphabets. A, B, C, D. In this way you give the number. So give here the number A in me and again give the number A in B, E, B because me and B are rhyming. Now, pole and soul, they both are rhyming. So just after A, which number you will give? B. So give the number B to pole and the same number give to soul. Pole and soul will be B. Now you have taken out the rhyme scheme. So what is the rhyme scheme? Me, you have written A. Pole, you have written B. B, B-E-B, which is the last word of the third line. That B-E-B, you have written the number A, and soul, you have written the number B. So easily you can take out the rhyme scheme now. So your rhyme scheme will be A, B, A, B. Okay. In the same way, when you will go to the next stanza, the second stanza, again you can take out the rhyme scheme. Tears, ears, C, C, shade, unafraid, D, D. In the same way, this is your homework to take out the rhyme scheme of the whole poem. You can write in your book only using the pencil. The whole poem's structure is in tight format. The poem has 4 stanzas and the rhyme scheme is A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, H, G, H. The writing is short and contains just 8 syllables in each line. Syllables, whenever we just speak any word, so wherever we have to interrupt, wherever we have to pause, no, that is the syllable. Suppose I am saying 8. So 8, I have not given any pause. 8, there is only one syllable. But if I am saying writing, so ra, I had given a pause. Writing. So there are 2 syllables. Writing. 2 syllables are there. Okay. So this syllable I have written just to introduce you, but these all things are not coming in your exams. Okay. Now you have understood the rhyme scheme. Figure of speech. What is the figure of speech? Figure of speech, just like you read in your Hindi language alankar, in the same way in your English also figure of speech is there. The figure of speech used in your poem is alliteration, repetition and metaphor. Alliteration means whenever the same consonant sounds are repeated or the same letters, listen carefully, letters are repeated. That is called alliteration. See, head is blood but unbowed. Here, which sound you are getting? No, which sound? Head is blood but unbowed. B sound. I am repeating B sound. No, B word you can see B, B, B. 3 times B has been used here. Okay, the B letter has been repeated 3 times and that's why here will be alliteration. So what is alliteration? Whenever the same letters are repeated or the same sound, especially consonant sound. Consonant you understand, vowel and consonant. So the same consonant sounds are repeated. That is called alliteration. Alliteration. Repetition. Repetition is that figure of speech in which the same lines are repeated. Same lines, not letter, not word, lines, the full line. As in your poem, I am captain, no, I am master, so I am. So in this way, this word is repeatedly he is speaking. So whenever the same lines are repeated, what we will say? There is repetition. But the same letters or same consonant sounds are repeated, we will see that we will say that there is alliteration. Metaphor. Metaphor figure of speech is that speech in which the comparison is done between two unlike things but without using the word like or as. Suppose I say her handwriting is pearl. Handwriting is pearl. So I have compared the handwriting to pearl moti. I have compared the handwriting to pearl. But I am not saying her handwriting is like pearl. I am not saying this. I am saying her handwriting is pearl and I am comparing it, handwriting to pearl. So two unlike things are compared without using the word like or as. So which figure of speech will be there? Metaphor. And if we are using the word like or as, the figure of speech will be simile. The same sentence, if I say in this way, her handwriting is like a pearl, like word I have used. Here, the figure of speech will be different, that will be simile. Figure of speech is also just for your introduction. More figure of speech you will learn in your higher classes. Okay, it's enough if you have understood this alliteration, repetition, metaphor, it's enough. See, I am captain of my soul. This figure of speech, metaphor. Metaphor means I am like captain. The poet is not saying I am like captain. He is saying I am captain. And that's why here metaphor is there. Personification, one more figure of speech I am telling you. Personification, as from the word only you can understand person. Person, this figure of speech has been can be understood by this word. Personification means person, means whenever we are treating non-living things as living things. Suppose I say to the sun, for sun, if I use the word he, he, it means I have personified sun. Okay, so if non-living things are written as living things, for wind, if I say that wind, he, no, his, these words I am using, which we use for the person. So we are personifying that non-living things. So the figure of speech which will be there, that will be personification. So these all are about your figure of speech. Okay, students, I think it's enough for today. Okay. Now, we will be going through all these stanzas, all the 4 stanzas. But what you have to do today, it's your homework, one more homework. Go through all these stanzas, all the 4 stanzas, and write down the difficult words along with their meanings. Otherwise, it will be a problem for you to understand the poem. Of course, I will be giving you the meanings, but it is very important for you also to first go through the poem and write down the difficult words and their meanings in the book only. Whatever you have to write in the notebook, when I will be telling you, when I will be giving you the instruction, then only you have to write. Right now, I have not told anything. You need not write anything in your English B notebook. Is it clear what you are doing? You are writing the rhyming scheme. You are writing the tough words meaning. Although it is given in the book, then also from your side, you are writing. Clear? So, in the next class, we will be discussing the poem also. Okay, students? Goodbye. Take care.